My name is Linda. I am 48 years old. I have been married for 26 years to a man named Richard, who is 52. We have 2 grown children, a son and a daughter. They both have their own families now, their own busy lives. For many years, I believed my marriage was stable, maybe not perfect, but safe. Richard was calm, quiet, and predictable. He had his routines, his morning coffee, his afternoon news, his couch every evening. But lately I began to feel something missing, not just love, but life itself. Richard had become lazy, not only physically but emotionally. He came home from work, sat on the couch, turned on the TV, opened a can of beer, and disappeared into the screen. I used to call him my couch pumpkin. He would just smile or ignore it. I did everything. Cooking, cleaning, shopping, paying the bills. I kept the house together while he drifted further away. Sometimes I wondered, is this what marriage becomes after years? 2 strangers sharing a roof? I thought this would be our quiet forever. Growing old together, having grandchildren on weekends, sipping tea in the kitchen. But fate had a different plan. One Saturday morning, I decided to go shopping. I grabbed my purse, opened the door, and then remembered. My card was in another jacket. I sighed, closed the door, and went to the bedroom to look for it. Then I heard Richard's voice from the living room. At first it sounded normal, but then something made me freeze. He said softly, "Yes, honey, I'm listening to you." My whole body went cold. Honey? He never called me that. In 26 years, he never once used words like honey, darling, baby, or sweetheart. I pressed my ear to the wall. My heart raced. He chuckled and said, "Tomorrow evening, yes, I miss you too." My hands trembled. I felt the world spinning. He's having an affair. That's all I could think. When he hung up, I walked into the living room. He looked startled, like a child caught stealing. "Who was that, Richard?" I asked quietly. He went pale. He tried to speak, but only managed to whisper, "She's my woman." For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. "Your woman?" I repeated. "You mean your mistress?" He nodded, ashamed. I laughed, but it wasn't real laughter. It was pain wearing a mask. "You can't even fix a broken chair," I said bitterly. "You can't go for a short walk, but somehow you can meet another woman?" He looked down. "She makes me feel alive," he said. Alive. That word stabbed me like a knife. "I gave you 26 years of my life, Richard. I raised your children. I cared for you when you were sick. I built this home, and now you need another woman to feel alive?" He whispered, "I'm sorry." But it was too late. "Call your honey," I said. "Tell her you're coming today, not tomorrow, today." He stared at me. "What?" "You heard me," I said. "Pack your things, leave." He looked broken and lost. "Linda, please, this is my home." "Not anymore," I said firmly. "You destroyed it the moment you betrayed me." He took his wallet and keys and left without looking back. I sat at the table, buried my face in my hands, and cried. 26 years, gone in one phone call. The house felt too quiet. Even the ticking clock sounded loud. The couch looked empty, and for the first time I realized how lonely it had always been. I thought about our youth, the laughter, the dreams, the nights we spent planning our future, all gone. But in that sadness, I also felt a small flame inside me. Courage. I said to myself, I will not live with a cheater. I will start again. The next morning, I called my daughter, Emily. My voice shook as I told her everything. She said, "Mom, you are strong. You don't need a man like him. You have us. We love you." Her words gave me power I didn't know I had. That day, I met with a lawyer and learned about divorce, about property, about freedom. That afternoon, the woman, his mistress, came to our house. She looked younger than me, well-dressed, confident. I walked outside calmly. "Leave him," I said. "He's married. He belongs to a family, not to your games." She stayed silent, then left. Richard came soon after, trying to explain, but I didn't want explanations. I wanted peace. We argued for hours. He said, "I was lonely." I shouted, "And I wasn't? Do you think love is one person working while the other sleeps through life?" He said nothing, and that silence told me everything I needed to know. Weeks passed. The divorce papers were signed. One evening, I sat alone with a cup of tea. The house was quiet, but it was my quiet now. The TV, the couch, the empty space, they didn't remind me of pain anymore. They reminded me of survival. I realized that after all these years, I could finally live for myself. I could travel, read, and laugh again, not because of someone else, but because I chose to. I might be almost 50, but my story isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. Because sometimes losing someone doesn't mean the end of life. It means the start of your own. A few weeks later, I took a small trip to the seaside. The air was fresh, the waves were calm, and for the first time in years, I felt peace inside me. I walked barefoot along the sand, watching the sunset, and I whispered to myself, "This is what freedom feels like." I started meeting new people, kind strangers who didn't know my past, who saw me simply as Linda, not as someone's wife or someone's mother. I began to smile more, to enjoy the little things, the morning sun, the smell of coffee, the sound of rain. I even joined a painting class, something I'd always wanted to do but never found time for. Life was slowly returning to me, and I realized I didn't need Richard or anyone else to complete me. I was enough. I was whole. I had finally rediscovered myself, the woman I once was, the woman I had lost, and the woman I was meant to become. If you were in Linda's place, what would you do? Would you forgive your husband and try to rebuild the marriage? Or would you leave him and start a new chapter like Linda did? Tell your answers in the comments below. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more stories that make you feel, think, and believe in yourself again.